Many of you have heard about Spark. For a number of years, I was fortunate to serve as the national director of our Spark work at Kellogg. Spark, for those of you who don't know, stands for Supporting Partnerships to Assure Ready Kids. We're in 7 states across the country in the District of Columbia. I always have to read them because I always leave a state out. Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, North Carolina, Ohio, New Mexico, and Mississippi. We picked 20 communities in those states, pretty even split between rural and urban. And so, the work of Spark, again, was around how do you mobilize the early ed community? How do you mobilize the school community? How do you mobilize everyday parents and educators and advocates to really work on behalf of educating children? Communities can develop practices and strategies that in fact can inform policy and move the dialogue forward on behalf of children. That is what Spark was about. It was about working in everyday communities. It was about trying to be sure that we motivated ourselves and our partners to be responsive and respectful to the needs of the communities we were working in. And in many cases, such amazing progress was made. The question is now, how do you take those nuggets that were developed in those respectful communities and apply them to the policy challenges that we have before us, this unprecedented time around kids? So for example, in Hawaii wanted to work with primarily homeless beach children. That was the population that the Hawaiian group focused on, at least initially. And that's by definition, it's a transient population, if you think about it, right? And so the only 2 institutions that engaged those young people were free health clinics and the schools that children weren't in consistently over time. And so the question is, how do you get quality early childhood services to that transient population? And that group developed something called Kiki Steps. Kiki Steps, Kiki means children in Native Hawaiian. And what it is a high-quality, mobile child development kind of a program that goes from community to community. They literally roll out mats, and they engage parents and children on how to provide and use everyday opportunities to effectively educate your kids. We're excited to say that that project, that initial project, now is being looked at as a statewide initiative. There are lots of communities that are beginning to replicate that work going forward. You heard yesterday Sterling and others mention the program, Parents as Teachers in Georgia. Again, many know the Parents as Teachers model. I know our Georgia partner, Sharon Hausman, helped to tweak that to be more effective in the Georgia community she's working in. But the notion that Parents as First Teachers now is being funded through Title I dollars and some discretionary funds at the county level in Georgia is another example of how, in fact, those statewide policy changes can grow out of community. Mississippi, famous for a lot of things, but their Learning Advocate program, I don't know where Olita and Rhea are, but your Learning Advocate program where you came up with solutions as to how do you encourage educators and learning advocates and early childhood folks to actually go into folks' homes and help them to nurture their children in a more effective manner. The strategies and the policies that they were able to put in place for that to happen now is something we're looking to scale, at least throughout our early ed work. And then you heard last night about Ready Schools Florida with the Children's Trust. What's more significant there, in my opinion, was, the former superintendent said, yeah, Spark's cute, you're in 8 schools, doesn't really help me because I got 230 schools. So how do you begin to take the best of what you're trying to develop in those 8 schools and help me to deal with a challenge of 230 schools? And we probably unbeknownst to us with the daunting task, said that we would step up to that challenge, and now are consistently phasing in what it means to try to help those Miami-Dade schools be more effective and more ready for children.